So let's get started. A warm welcome to all of you. Welcome all. This is a 90 minutes demo. Okay, this is to learn Terraform with AWS to start building a real cloud infrastructure. And this is hosted by Eduarn, and our website is eduarn.com. You can always visit it. So let's move to the next slide. Yes. So before going further, first I would like to introduce myself. I'm Richard Agrawal. I'm seasoned trainer of Java and cloud, and my specialization is in Java and Terraform with AWS, Amazon Web Services. And I have worked with different tech giants like JP Morgan, Boeing, and Cisco, and I'm passionate about technology and training. So now I've become a full-time trainer. Okay. And so I will be delivering this webinar, and along with me, I have Kumar and Neenu also. Can you please can you mute yourself? Thank you, Kumar. So I have Kumar and Neenu with me. They are also expert in Terraform, not only with AWS, but the other cloud technologies like GCP and Azure also. So they will also be part of our webinar. They will help to show the demo, webinar, and solve your queries also. So before we will start more about Terraform, it's a vision and mission about the Eduarn. So we are actually expert in end-to-end development, software development, as well as in corporate and retail training. So let's start now. What is yeah? So actually, as you guys are joining this meeting, so I'm sure you would like to know what is the advantage of learning Terraform in ISC and DevOps. So as just I have got this data from different sources that what are the salary range expected from the DevOps. So you can see we are showing the salary from India as well as from the other countries of the world. So you can see like for 0 to 2 years, at least 3 to 8 lakhs per annum we can expect, and similarly for mid-level it's 8 to 15 lakhs, and for the senior folk it's between some 15 lakh to 25 lakhs. I think it's a good salary as per other technology. And if you look for the other part of the world like US or other European countries, so we can expect like from 0 to 2 years it's 60K to 100,000 per annum dollars per annum, and similar for mid-level and high level. So high experience with 5 plus more than it's around 1,20,000 to 2 lakh dollars per annum. So this is the salary range expected from the DevOps person. So now I will start. Next slide, please. So why actually we need Terraform? What are the problems we are facing? So first I will tell what are the problems. Problem is when we do a manual provisioning, it's a time consuming and there are possibility of lots of errors. Similarly, there's an issue might be different environments and there will be a downtime and bugs also. Similarly, we will not have any version control because like in a code we keep a version control, but this way we cannot see what was previous and what changes we have done. Right? So there is no version control, no provisioning actually. Similarly, this is difficult to manage infrastructure with multiple cloud vendors, but not necessarily working with AWS. Same time we will be working with other cloud like GCP and Azure also. And there is no centralization and we cannot see the preview also before provisioning. So we are not very sure. So these are especially the problem with the multiple clouds because nowadays every company is working with multiple clouds. So these are the problems we face if you are not using any Terraform or any infrastructure as a code. So can we move to next slide, please? So these are the problems. These problems are solved by the Terraform. We'll see that now. It automates the code. I mean, the infrastructure has become now code. Simply like any other code, we can keep it as it's automated code. It keeps a consistency across multiple environments. We will have Q and A and a prod environment, so it will be consistent. Similarly, we can keep it is in a version control tool like Git, so that we can also see the changes. What was the previous and what is the latest change now? It works across multiple. So Terraform is not bound to any one of the cloud vendor. We can work with AWS, Azure, or GCP, or even in future if we have more cloud vendor also. It enables the team collaboration. Easily we can share the modules. We can write a reusable code. And the advantage is one more is safe deployment because we can first see the plan. So it will help us to find what infrastructure we are going to provision. So this solves many of the problems which developer or the DevOps people face. Yeah. So thank you so much. And now I hand over to Neenu. Please welcome. She's also expert in Terraform, so she will take over from here. And just one question. Till now, if everybody is okay, clear, you can just write in the chat if anybody has any doubt till this point. Is everybody clear? They can write clear in the chat box. You can write C. If you're okay to go ahead. Yeah, let's welcome you. Thank you, Neenu.
Thank you, Richard. I hope everyone can see and hear me well. Hello, everyone. My name is Neenu George. I'm a freelancer in Eduarn, working from the United States. I have several years of experience in cloud computing. I'm specialized in AWS, DevOps, and CI/CD deployments. So let's come to the slide. So what is Terraform? It was an open source. It used to be an open source, but Terraform is no more an open source. But you can use OpenTofu instead of that, which is completely an open source. Infrastructure provisioning. It means it automates the infrastructure provisioning, so you can deploy your resources reliably and efficiently. And next point is the single binary. What it means is it can run as a single lightweight binary across all major operating systems like Windows, Mac OS, Linux, Solaris, and so on. Next point is declarative and stateful. So it means that it is using a declarative and stateful approach, unlike other programming languages like Python, but it ensures your infrastructure matches your required configuration. HCL, HashiCorp configuration language. That is a language underneath Terraform. It uses HashiCorp configuration language, which is easy to read and build our infrastructure. Next point is the special programming skills required. Actually speaking, you don't require any advanced programming skills. It is designed to be accessible for all infrastructure teams. Next slide, please. Yeah, in this slide, we are going to know what are the different phases of a Terraform, the life cycle. So first one is write. Here we write our code where we define our infrastructure as a code using Terraform configuration files. Next one is init. Init is where Terraform initializes the directories and it downloads all the required providers for functioning for playing our code. Next is plan. Plan is where it's like a preview. It reviews the execution plan before making any actual changes to the infrastructure. Next is apply. Apply is where actual deployment is happening. It provisions the resources based on our configuration to the provider which we mentioned, providers like AWS, GCP, or any other cloud. And the last one in this cycle is destroy. Destroy is used where we no longer need our resources. So this destroy will clean up and delete the resources. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you, Neenu. So from here, Kumar will continue. Yeah, let's welcome Kumar. And I hope till now things are clear, but if anybody has any question, queries, you can write in the chat. So if possible, I will try answering the chat itself or during conversation. But please, you guys can keep on writing your queries. If you have any question, if you're clear, you can write C or how's it going?
I believe there is no questions anyone, right? So thanks, Richa and Neenu. Hopefully my voice is audible, right?
Yes.
So any questions so far, anyone? No? Wow, very good. So let's move further. So hopefully you are able to see slides, which is the Terraform architecture. Say yes if you are able to.
Yes.
Thank you very much. So as we know, this is Terraform is that in infrastructure as a code, and it's work for that in multiple clouds, including AWS, on Azure, GCP, and OCI, followed by the almost more than 4,000 providers there here. All right, but topmost cloud like in AWS, Azure, Oracle, GCP, and all Alibaba Cloud, all it is widely started. Once the Terraform started in 2012, they started with AWS, and now more than 4,000 providers is there. So as a developer or like SRE or like system engineers, we used to write that in a code. Okay, and then that code generally will get that in write that in a code, and after that in writing that in a code, that file format it will be there in that in a .ef or .ef virs, right? So I'll let you know that in details, but most of the time these are the two type of a file extension will be there in that in a Terraform. As a developer, we used to write that in an infrastructure as a code. So before that, in one of the biggest problem I'm going to talk on that in what Terraform is solving, which I added it on top of it is it is a, like we'll be able to automate that in entire infrastructure with help of a code only. Okay, and then this Terraform binary will be there as an innovated that in a single binary file will be there where that respective plugins will be downloaded for the provider. Let's say here we are using AWS, so AWS and AWS module will be there which will be used for the Terraform, and kind of these are the resources will be created. It is not limited because in slide it is mentioned like that, so referring that in creating the VPC, creating a subnet, creating that in other components, right? So anyone have any questions on that in this architecture part? Yes, no? Okay,
No.
okay. So Lokesh, you have any questions? You are saying yes, or you just type it for clear? No questions. Very good. So I'm considering no questions. I'm moving further. So after that, in architectures, we have, let's say this is the high-level architectures, and if you use that in any other provider, maximum you have to change that in this provider only. Rest of that, and of course, you have to write that in a code on basis of the provider only. So what is this provider? What I'm talking about? So if I'll ask you, what is that in a provider? So in that case, if you go to that in a Terraform provider. So in the Terraform provider, you can see there is more than 4,000 providers there. Once I started that in Terraform in 2012, in that time just only one it was there in that in AWS, and now 5,381, right? And you can think about that in every day this number is getting increased. If you see that in another 1 or 2 weeks, it will be go more. And you can think about that in how the industry is accepting that in this Terraform tool. And topmost tool I was talking about AWS, Azure, Google, Oracle Cloud, Alibaba, and Kubernetes. And it's not limited. You can see here there is a thousands of 5,381 other providers there. And in another 1 or 2 weeks, it will be added that in more only. Okay. So just we have to change that in our provider here, and of course you have to write that in a code on basis of that in a Terraform. Now I'm moving to that in the next one. If you talk on that in a comparing with other tools what we have in the market, right? The Terraform is there in here. Cloud Formations is there, which is dedicated tool for that AWS, and this is the closed source and only work for the AWS for orchestrations purpose, immutable, declarative, and client only. We have a Safe, Puppet, Ansible, and Salt Stack. So these are the tools it will be considered as a kind of a configurations management tool. So the configurations management tool, Ansible is widely used. Again, but it was acquired by that in Red Hat, and again that Red Hat is acquired by the IBM. So Ansible and Terraform both are under there in that in a IBM umbrella, right? So you can think about that in code perspective. So it was open source, but now it is not open source. So as new added that in the open tofu is there, which is alternative to the Terraform for the open source, right? And then you can use it. But still, we don't have that much of a open source community support. Then cloud perspective, this Terraform support for almost all clouds. It is orchestration tool, immutable, declarative programming language, and it is only client is required. There is no need to configure that in a client server like what we have in that in a Puppet. Okay. So far all clear, everyone. Anyone have any questions still here? Yes. No. Oh, thank you very much for giving. That is the first, so it is from Yogesh. Thanks, Yogesh. It's really appreciated for your let me go into that in a slow. So is the architecture part is clear? Or you want to just elaborate that in this Terraform versus other tools? If you want, then we can unmute it, or you can unmute it and then I'll talk. Yogesh? Okay, let me go a bit slow then. I'm sorry. Okay, so large. Okay. So let me go through that in one more time. So here we have a tool called Terraform, and the Terraform tool is used for that in orchestrations purpose. In earlier it was there as open source, but now IBM acquired the this Terraform, and it is not a open source tools, right? So alternate to the Terraform, we have a open tofu, right? So in open tofu, if I go and just search that in here, yeah, so this is the alternate to that in Terraform. Open source tool is there, which is infrastructure as a code, and same it will be work for that in doing the provisioning as well, right? So this is the alternate tool. I'll be share that in a link, right? So I believe it is clear so far, right? I understood. Since Terraform is open source, does that mean it is a value want to decrease? It is still in that in demand to learn. Yes, of course, the main agenda was there for that. In industry, it is going to opt it, right? And it is not going to be like in that in issue. Of course, it will be there in the demand. And licensing part and all, it is not a part of the developer, right? It is a decision for the organization. So definitely they will buy it, because let's say if I give you the real example, you are working in Accenture for service provider, and you are working for the bank, or let's say Bank of America. So Bank of America, they will be not take care of that in like in open source tools. They will pay the license cost, but what they need a best solutions, easy to implement, because Bank of America, if I take the name, it maybe they will be having multi-cloud implementations, right? So in that case, it will be helping. Yes, and this is the really one of the demand from 2012 to till now. I'm seeing that in a graph is widely used. If you want to check, just join in LinkedIn and search that in a Terraform developer, then you'll become to know that in how many developers they are working on the Terraform, right? Or they have a skills, or they are working for that. The one more question was there, Terraform is open source. Does that? Okay, that is answer. Now this day, plumbing is also in demand. Yes, you are right. So open tofu and plumbing both are like in also in demand. You can use it, but still organizations, they are not opting that in these tools, right? So they have to change that in their mindset, right? So I hope so I'll answer that in the questions. Now it is support for that in all cloud and its orchestration tools. It is a immutable. Let's say one question was there about the immutable, so I was answering here. Let's say we want to go and create that in one infrastructure, right? And you created that in a web server of that in XYZ applications. And in that web server, you created the 10 servers. And in out of the 10 server, one of the server is like not responding due to the OS issue or whatever, some issue happened. So in that case, what we'll do, we'll go and like use that in a policy calls, like terminate that in instance, kill and heal principle, right? So we'll kill it and then heal it. Another thing is that if there is no change in that in a code, and we have a state concept, and if you apply it again and again, so it will not going to the change it, right? And in declarative programming perspective, this is just like English like language. We'll see that in a code, right? And some of that in a sections we have different sections, and then it works, and it's client only architectures. There is only one binary will be there. For example, if I go to that in a Terraform, and I'll be show you that in a like let's say installations of that in a Terraform, and then you'll be see. In the bin directory, you can see I have a multiple versions of a Terraform, and only one TCX is there for running that in applications, right? So there is nothing is required other than that from configurations perspective. All right. Next, these tools you can see about that. So I believe all of you know that in this such kind of a graph. Yes or no? Is it interesting, right? Yeah, so here you can see about that in Terraform is there, right? So this periodic table indicated for that in a DevOps, right? A number of tools there, and if you really want to like go into that in your DevOps career, it is always nice to know that in a form at least one tool in each categories, one cloud, one like containerizations, one at least infrastructure configurations management tool, one repository related, and many more. It is not like limited to that, but good to have that in this skill, right? Terra, I'm moving further. If anyone have any questions, you can just raise your hand or you can ask it, unmute it, and let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer, or else I'll move it further. Is it good? Is I able to see any questions so far?
No, there are no other questions. But yeah, I would like to stop you for 1 minute so that we can confirm if everybody is clear. You can write here. So far, so good. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah.
I can see so many thumbs up. It's really appreciated, everyone. And it is always nice if you'll ask the question, so it will be going that in interactive way. All right, so I can see Ninu just answer that in text. It's appreciated, Ninu. Thank you. And others, please drop that in questions, or at least raise your hand if you have any question. So let me move that in the bigger pictures of that in a Terraform. So here you can see the Terraform. It is a part of that in a DevOps tools. It is not only DevOps, so it is a considering that in a Dev, Sec, Test, Ops also. So this is what industry plus cloud and plus AI skill is required, right? So by in another 2 to 3 years, if you don't have these skills, that it will be very difficult. There is a possibility the organizations will say, okay, your skill is not matching. And this and past most probably you are aware about that in the news, right? In a bigger organizations like having the more than 1 lakh of employee, and they're saying, okay, your skill is not matching, right? So what we observe with that in a demand technology, and we'll trend it. So they say test ops plus cloud plus AI is also required AI skills, right? So any one of the cloud, you should know that in any one of that in a few AI tools, how you're going to work it, and they've set test ops. So kind of this will be have that in all rounder right skills. Anyhow, so that is a part of that. Next. As a developer or like in a system engineer or like in others, let's say you are Java developer, you're writing the code with help of Eclipse, then you are pushing the code into that in a repository. Now here there is a number of build tools will be there like Jenkins, GitHub, Azure DevOps, Circle CI, or any other tools which will be help it out to and then we have a Git, Map. These are the other supporting tools we have which will support them. Then the configurations management tool like Ansible, it will be go and do the some operations in on-premises, right? Or in a cloud like AWS or Azure or any other cloud. And here you can see our Terraform tool is there, right? Which play that very important role for doing that creating that resourcing that in a cloud, So and the continuous testing is also required with help of that functional test, with help of that automation test, it will be happen, all right? Or performance test or unit test, and then we'll get that in an output, right? So far all clear, everyone? Anyone have any question in this? No? Very good. So let's move further. Then we have here, again, the Terraform tools, it will be used for the DevOps and CI/CD pipeline. What I'm talking about, automations, because every organization, every product, every project, automations is required. Without the automations, nothing is going to work. If you compare with, let's say, financial institutions like ICICI Bank, SBI Bank. So in ICICI Bank, they are expanding HDFC, I can take that in Indian Bank. They are expanding the huge amount for doing that in their software changes. If I compare with one of our largest government bank is SBI, right? So you can think they are giving that in a services a bit later, right? So, but they have a number of concerns. It is not like that, but their adaptations is very high. So what we have to do, the industry, how they are going to demand it, the way we have to opt that in a new technology, and we have to deliver that in faster, right? So these are the set of tools, it will be help it out for delivering that in applications faster and deploy into that in a cloud or that in a on-premises, right? So this we used to say that in a pipeline or CI/CD or DevOps cycle. So far, anyone have any question? I'll be pause for that in 1 minute.
Yeah, sure. Because after this, we are going to start a live demo. So if anybody has any question, any query, anything like you want to know about Terraform or AWS, so after that we can start a live demo. So just in 1 or 2 minutes, we can wait, then we can start demo.
Anyone have any question?
Can I ask just one question? I mean, how many people here are a little aware about any cloud technology, any knowledge about cloud? Say yes or no. Any cloud is fine. AWS, Azure, GCP.
Very good. So Tejas, you mentioned AWS.
Yeah, Shrikant also. Yeah.
Detail about AWS, Virja.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I believe others also. Yeah, if not, then we'll see quickly. Oh, you know that Venkat.
Yeah, AWS plus Azure. Yeah. It's good, right? This is the advantage of Terraform. Like any cloud, you can work with Terraform. So you're not just bound with one cloud vendor only.
So if there is no question, Salama.
Yeah, Kumar, continue. And at the same time, I will ask people if they want, they can keep writing. Anyways, any question, you write that also in the chat.
Right. So while doing the demo, I'll be more than happy. If you'll ask the questions, I'll be more than happy to answer. So what I'll do, because as you know, this is the live demo, and I'm going to showcase how the Terraform it will be work. And you can think about that within less than 5 minutes, I can say. So before that, I'll ask that in questions because few members they have responded. They know that in AWS. Now the questions I want to know. Let's start with Rajesh. So Rajesh, you can unmute it if you want. I know like you're from home, so if you get the noise also, I don't mind it. So let's say if you want to create and run that in a one server and a small one statics website. So how long it will be take while doing that in a manual? Rajesh, you want to edit? Unmute and do edit at least 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes. Right?
Yeah, it'll take more than half an hour. Yeah.
More than half an hour, 30 minutes, right? So, and there is a possibility while doing that in the manual, sometimes security group will miss it, sometimes,
Yeah,
you know,
security group.
yeah, sometimes public IP address will be not assigned, sometimes networking it will be not there, right?
Yeah,
So, anyone else Azure experience you want to share? How long it will be take? The question is there. I want to run that in one statics website. Just consider this is the statics website I want to run it, right? Which will be running that in, of course, public IP address only, right? And it will be just type that in something we have to generate that in one index page, and these are the 4-5 links, and then we have to add that in one image. So, how long it will be take that in Azure? Who was there? Venkata? I'm sorry about that in for wrong pronunciations, if any. Or like in anyone else from Azure experience?
Somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes.
Wow. Okay. Okay, so it will be take around 20 minutes time to create one statics website, and there is a possibility of error as well in Azure, right? Now let's launch that in a Terraform, and without any error, you know, and all, we'll be able to see that in less than 5 minutes, right? Less than 5 minutes with creating that in a networking, creating that in A to Z configurations, and many more, right? So first thing first, once you will be logging into, you want to do something in that in a Terraform, one provider is needed, as I mentioned that in architectures, okay? So here you can see we require AWS. In our demo, it is we are covering that in a Terraform. So here required that in AWS account, right? So either the free tier or either the paid, just we need AWS account with access to create the resource, right? Now, if I go to that in AWS account, you can see I have logged into that, and as of now, I'm in there in that in going into that in North Virginia because I demonstrated that in North Virginia itself. Okay, so here you can see that in as of now in this region, are you able to see my screen? This AWS instance, Richa, or anyone else just say yes?
Yes, I can see yes.
Very good. So now in AWS, let's say if I want to create and launch the instance, it will be take at least 30 minutes or 20 minutes, like they have mentioned it, like, you know, as per their experience. And it is not, sometimes it will be take more also, right? It's all depend on, let's say they have to do that in multiple disk attachment, multiple networking, primary IP address, secondary IP address, and networking and many more. So it will be take more also, right? Now what you can see, I'm in that in North Virginia, and in every clouds they have a region. And in this region, as of now, nothing is running, but with help of a Terraform, we'll be able to do it. Same thing, I'll be go to that in a VPC also. So I'll duplicate it because in our code, it's creating that in a VPC also. Right, VPC is nothing but a networking, right? And in our design, you can think about that. And this is what we are going to do that in architectures, all right? So here, I mean, there in VPC, and in North Virginia itself, you will see that in only one VPC is there, which is the default one, and we are going to create our one, right? Now, I'll be moved to that in our code, and quickly I'll walk through that in a code. If you have any question in the code, just type that in a C in that time. So hopefully the code windows is available. And first thing first, we have to understand that in a provider. In AWS, this is that in a bridge between that in a Terraform and respective cloud or product or project, right? So here we have a provider, and with help of a provider, this is the kind of a London bridge you can consider, right? This is the bridge for moving from one side to that in another, or how will we get the connectivity? If you are from that in Java background, then JDBC is there, Java database connectivity. With help of that, we'll get the database connectivity. Here in Terraform, we have concept called provider, right? So in the provider, we are going to mention that provider and name of the cloud. AWS, if it is Azure, then we have to mention Azure. If GCP, then we have to mention GCP, and which region you are going to refer it, right? Because in each and every AWS cloud, most of the services are regional services, right? So can you write that in a, which services is the global services in AWS? Any one of you? In AWS, what is the name of the services which is the global? IAM, very good, Srikanth, thank you. S3, no, S3 somehow, okay. S3, IAM is the 100% global. S3 services we create the regional, but it will be visible on the global, right? We mentioned the region for creating Lambda, right? So Route 53 is global services. See here, right? So people, they know that, you know, from IAM to Route 53, right? Yeah, and then a CloudFront, right? So see here, right? So very good. It's a very good list. Now, we'll move to that in the next. This provider, that is a regional services. Let's say we are going to create a EC2 server. So that services will be the regional. So we are going to mention that, you know, what is the region of that? And region is nothing but a geographical region. Let's say US region. So if I go and just type that in here, AWS regions. Right? So in AWS region, that will become under the global infrastructures. So here we have North America, Asia, there is multiple regions we have. And even though in our AWS screens also here we can see, these are the regions is there. We can subscribe it and we can go and create the resource in that. But I'm going to refer it for North Virginia. Then we have a CR credentials file. The CR credentials file is nothing but one of the way to get the connectivity from that in AWS, right? Or respective provider. So how to create that in the services? We have to go into that in AWS, and then we have to type that in, let's say, IAM. So to all of you know how to create that in access key and secret key is fine. Those who don't know, for them, what we have to do, we have to go to that in IAM, identity and access management. Here only we'll give that in all access, right? So here we can go to that in create new users, and in that users, we can go for, let's say, I created Terraform for the free demo, and we can create that in there we have a security credentials, and these credentials which will be work for, let's say, I'll do the create access key. There is a various options we have, but we are going to use the command line. Then I'll choose the command and I'll say, hey, create it. Now this will be created. I'll be say temp and just create it. Now this access key and secret key got created, and that only access key and secret key, it is saved into that in one of the file, right? And so if I go to that in a file, of course I'll not open it, right, C:// and then the file will be there in that in my users folder, because it will be always better to have. And then inside the AWS, you can see this is the file we have credentials, and same it is referring here also. CR credentials file, I'll showcase you. So in variable, this is what we have. See users training in AWS credentials. This file I'll not open it as of now because session is recorded and public, right? In private sessions, we'll see how we are going to create it, right? Then which profile we are going to use. So generally here we mentioned that in a development default profile or QA pre-productions and productions, right? Now, is that provider is clear for everyone? Say no if it is not clear, because positive scenario we are saying that. So just type no if it is not clear. Oh, so I believe it's clear. There is a no, right? So all right, one question is there. What is that? Can you explain again, please? Yeah, sure. So Tejas, it's really appreciated you are asking. So this provider is nothing but a bridge between. Let me draw it here. Okay. So now here in this architectures, we are writing the code, right? And in between, this Terraform is the worker, right? But how this Terraform will be know I have to do something in AWS, right? This provider is going to help it out. right? So this provider is bridge between the Terraform and respective cloud, right? So that is what we are talking about with help of this provider in AWS and share credentials file, because we are giving that in a access key and secret key. So our Terraform will be understand which cloud we have to use it, which region we have to use it, and which profile we have to use it. Because there is a possibility in AWS, you have to create a development, you have to create a QA, you have to create a other environment itself, or you'll be have a different region as well. So in that case, this provider will be help it out, and this is the entry point of that in our code. I believe it is clear now. The starting. How did you get into instance phase? Instance phase meaning like in AWS. Okay, so for that, if I understood clearly, so once you log into that in AWS, first you have to type that in or select that, because I have access, so it is displaying here. But always it is nice to type the EC2, and then EC2 is nothing but Elastic Compute Cloud, and this is the way you'll be able to navigate it: Elastic Compute Cloud, EC2, and create and manage that in an instance. All right, I believe so. I answered that in question. Now this provider is clear, then I'll move to the variable, because here, because these are the 5 pillars we are going to talk on that. One is the provider, second one is the variable, third one is the resource, and fourth one is the output and data source. Also it is there, right? So next one is the variable. So here we are mentioning the vr.aws region, and here you can see we have AWS region, and we are saying US East 1. So US East 1 is nothing but this is what I'm using here, US East 1, right? So in that in a code it is mentioned US East 1. Then credentials, we are mentioning the file of the credentials. Profile, in that credentials file it is mentioned as the default, so it will pick it. Now which type of instance it is? So we are going to use the T2 micro, and what is the AMI ID of the instance? Here it is there, right? So next, once this provider and variable is done, then we have a VPC. VPC is nothing but a networking. Here we are talking about, let's say if I'll go and say that in a VPC, we have 2 options. We can create a VPC via this one, or we can use that in a wizard. So once you'll be create that in this VPC, several things you have to set up, like serial block, public or private subnet, and many more manual. Always, if you are not expert in that networking, this is that done by the architects. All right. So if you are not expert, then you will be failed for doing it. So here we have a code for creating that in a to Z VPC. So here resource section is there. With help of this resource, we are using the resource, name of the resource, and this name of the resource, it will be referred from that in a Terraform. So if I go for AWS and AWS VPC, and I'll be mentioned that in a Terraform. So you can see here AWS VPC, and the inner resource is there, because this is a declarative language. So resource, name of the resource, resource, type of the resource, and name of the resource. This name of the resource we can change it, and cedar block is mandatory. Cedar block is nothing but IP address range. It will be start with a 16 and it will be go up to 28 in that in AWS, right? And now we have a cedar block, then instance tenancy, these are the default, and the tag name is mentioned on that. And in this VPC, there is a 2 public subnet is getting created. Public subnet is nothing but an area, a bigger area is divided into that in a smaller one. So here you can see we have a, let's say here we have a public subnet, and here we have a another public subnet or private subnet, right? So in this bigger logical boundary AWS, we divided into the VPC, and then we are dividing into that in a subnet, right? So we are giving that in a logical boundary for that, right? So there is a 2 subnet is there, public subnet, and another one public subnet 2, and then whatever bigger bucket is there, this top one is the bigger bucket, 10.0.0.16, then we are saying 10.0.1.0.24, this is the cedar block, then it will be divided, and availability zone is nothing but each region have more than 1 zone. Okay, that is a part of a global infrastructure. Similarly, we have a 2 private subnet, right, where all database application server will be created, and it will be not accessible publicly, right? But in that in a public subnet, we can create our that in a Bastion server, we can create that in a web server and others, right? And then we have a 2 private subnet, then we have internet gateway. So internet gateway is nothing but a way to getting the connectivity of AWS to outside that in a world, right? So if someone is want to access that in a internet, whatever services you have created, so with help of this internet gateway only, that in outside world people is accessing that in a server created here, right? So this is required. Then we have a router, right? So same thing here, we are going to talk on that. So we have a routable. So this router, it is mapping with giving the access and attaching to the internet gateway, and then the router and public subnet associations is there, right? So this is that in end-to-end VPC, and most of the organizations they use that in this public and private subnet minimum once they have a 3-tier architectures implementations of the web applications, right? Then we have a instance, right? So here in instance is nothing but creating a server, right? So here we have a resource AWS instance, then we have a training instance, then what is the AMI we are using? So here you can see VR and AMI. So it is using this AMI is nothing but a plain OS, right? Either CentOS, either the Windows or Linux, or like in any other operating system family, and it is a predefined created. It may be created by the AWS or cloud provider, or it may be it is a custom one, right? So it is used that in AMI. Then instance type. So instance type we are using that in a smallest one, T2 micro, 1 CPU and 1 GB of RAM, right? Then we have a key. So I have already created that in this key in past. So if I go here and instance, and if I scroll down, and then you can see here we have a key section somewhere. Yeah, so key pair is there, and you can see here my training key is there, right? So this training key I'm using it. I'm not going to create it for the same as of now. Then this is the hard-coded value I mentioned it, and then name of the tag. Now the subnet ID, which subnet we are going to create it. So AWS subnet. If I go and find that in this name, so here you can see we have that subnet. Okay, so it is going to create in the my public subnet and availability zone 1. Right, so that server will be created in this subnet, right? And then we are using the what is the VPC security group. So we are creating the security group also. I'll talk on that in 1 minute, because here we have. Then we have a concept called user data, right? So whenever this server will be created, by default it will be installed that in some of the software, and that software is nothing but HTTP, which is the web server, right? Apache web server. And with help of this Linux command, we are creating that in one index file, and we are putting that in our one HTML file, where we have a image, we have several links in that. And then once that is done, then systemctl start HTTPD, and then enable. So this server will be up and running until unless we will not terminate it, right? So this server is getting created. Now we are talking about the security group. So what is the security group? Security group is nothing but one of the layer which will be either allow or deny it. So we are by default in ingress, every port we are opening it for the entire world, and egress we are just allowing port 22 for SSH and port 804 web server, because by this only it will work. So can anyone just type it? What is the purpose of a port number 22? Do you know? Because you like I was only talking for SSH purpose. Yes, please.
Yeah, can continue. What you asking again?
Okay, so what is the purpose of a port number 22?
Port number 22.
Yeah.
I think port number 22, I think it is for no, Jenkins is for ND to 80.
Yes.
I think this is for SSH use, no? I put down for SSH. Put it, I can port number.
Very good, right. So you can see for TCP port or SSH, generally we used to connect the server from that in a Git bash putty or any other tools and access that in a server. Okay. Yeah, someone is capturing the screen and sharing as well, right? So what you want to highlight in this one? In this image? Also remote access to VM. That is very good. Yes, Pooja. All right, so thank you very much for answering it. Now we have a port 22 and then in ingress, and then 80 we are opening for that in our Apache HTTP because by default it work on that in a port 80. And then once all this done, then finally we need output, yeah, no? So in that case, here we have an output and we want to get that in a public IP address of the server, all right? So in Terraform, we have a one of the pillar called output and with help of a public IP address, descriptions, AWS instance, then Terraform, and then public IP address. But we want a URL also because we want to access it on port number 80. So while running this code, it will be printed that in this URL as well, right? So anyone have any issue in that in a code walkthrough before going to that in a demo?
One question. Actually, we have written all as per the in the format how we declare that in the AWS portal or the Azure portal. Okay,
Right.
in Terraform, if you give the random like shuffle the things, will it work or they have any?
No,
order?
it will be work. By default, it will be take that in a Terraform. If you write that in a code, let me do that. Let's say as of now, this code was there. I'll be put that in top. Okay. And in that in a variable also, let's say here VPC. This is best way to flow. So for code readability and maintenance, it will be good. Here I'll be shuffle it. Let's say this one I'll be shuffle it. So it will be there is no difference in that. But we can put the dependency. That is a very good question. I'm going into the bit advanced level. So sometime let's say you have an application server and web server or database server, right? So in your project requirement, you have a requirement for creating one web server, creating an application server, and creating one database server. Right, so you'll be write that in a code, and code will be there in random basis. But what we have to do first, you have to create a database, right? So as you have to mention, I want to create a database first. Once database is all configured and running, and we get the IP address, endpoint, port number, user ID, password configure, then only configure that in this web server, application server. So because this application server, if it is up, it will be try to connect to the database server, and if it is not up, then there is a possibility some error will become, right? So we can put the dependency, and we have here depends on tag in Terraform, which will be we can go and put that in a preferences. I want to create this resource first, okay? And there is no dependency. There is no dependency on putting the code in up and down. Terraform will be understand that, you know.
But we have any close order which describes the standard.
Nothing. There is no like once I do that in demo, next time I'll shuffle the code from one file to the another also, and that it will be not there. It will not impact anything. All right. And thank you very much for asking the questions. It's really appreciated. You know? So in that case, only you'll have some interactive sessions, you know, instead of otherwise I'll be hosted that in a webinar instead of hosting that in a demo, right? So I believe so far all good. So we are good to go for demo, right? And you can Richa, you can just open that in a timer, and you can just count down for let's say how long it is taking that, in how many minutes it's taking it, you know. Or let me do it. So I'll be open that in a stopwatch, STOP, WTCH, stopwatch. So I'm starting at the moment. Let's timer. So I'll put it for better to put that in a stopwatch, but this stopwatch it will become a minute. I don't know, sir. Time and date. Better to put the timer. Let's say I'll put that in a 7 minutes. 5. We'll put the 10 minutes, start it, and we'll see less than that it will be done. Okay. So this timer is started now. I'm talking also, and I'm going to that in Terraform code where it is there, and I'll just open that in a command. And Terraform is already installed in my PC. You can see, and just I'm going to perform first command as enumerated that in because Terraform in Terraform lifecycle you will see here. I'm talking also. So first we write that in a code. Now I'm going to do that in a init. Okay. So Terraform and then init. This is the first command we have to do. Once we do that in this first command, that in one Terraform provider will be downloaded in your PC. All right. And that Terraform provider for AWS or whatever it is mentioned that in your code, so it will be downloaded. Here you can see installing Hasicop AWS and version 6.9.0, and then it's downloading for the AWS provider, right? It's all depend on that in how like in your internet speed and all it is there, and this download it will be done. Now if I go in here, this is what it's got downloaded: provider registry, and then Hasicop and AWS, and then 6.9.0 for Windows, and then this is the provider is there, right? So with help of that, we'll be able to create that in a resource. So what is the next phase? It is a plan. So I'll be do that in a Terraform plan. Right? I'm explaining also in between, and you can see within less than 7 minutes it will be done. Now its plan is happening, and altogether more than around 10 resources going to be created. And here we can see the 11 resources going to create it. Quickly we'll go and verify. So it is creating a VPC. It is creating my public subnet 2, public subnet 1, then private subnet 2, private subnet 1. Then it is creating the security group, and then finally we have a public routable associations, right? And then here it is creating the internet gateway, right? This plus symbol indicates that it's going to create it, right? And then here we have our user data and instance, right? So this looks good for me. Now the next step is apply. So apply is that in one of the command which will be go and create the real resource. Apply. Right? So it will be asked that in a prompt, or we can do that in auto approve also, but I want to see that, right? Then only I'll be say that in yes, go and do it. So it will be go and create the 11 resource. I can see 11 to 8, 0 to change, and 0 to destroy. We have to type yes, right? So once I type the yes, then what it will be happen is creating the networking first, right? Now your answer for your questions, we have write that in a code here and there, but Terraform understand, okay, the code whatever we have mentioned, networking is required first, right? Then it is creating the next resource, what is required, and that much of intelligence this tool is, right? So after that, it's creating the subnet and creating the instance now, right? So creating the instance, it will take some time, and we can go and verify it. So I'll be going to that in a screen, right? So almost 4 minutes is over, which is okay. So what I'll do, I'll be go to that in a here, and if I go to that in a VPC section, so in VPC, if I refresh here, one VPC will be created, my VPC, right? So here you can see my VPC got created, and it will be have the same serial blocks, whatever we have mentioned, and there is a 2 subnet will be there. So in that 2 subnet, whatever we created here, it will be added that, and we need to just refresh this one, and my private subnet 2, my private subnet 3, and public subnet 1 and all also got created. Same thing, if it is a code is completed, and now you can see the instance is also got created. So if I go here and all the way up, and if I do the refresh, hey, approve it, some request is coming here. So he's a bit late, but that's fine. We are recording, so I'll share that in this recording video in that in a course, and you'll be get that in there, right? So now everything is done, and instance also got created, and this is what we created. Training instance, still it is initializing. It will take some time, right? So we have to wait it until unless this status check is done. Anyone have any questions by that time? Once the status is getting checked, you can type it if you don't want, or it will be always nice. You can unmute it and talk on that. this is the recorded and recording will be shared. Yes. Okay. That is the reason.
Yeah, Kumar, I think it's a really good demo. I mean, I know, in one day we'll not learn and understand everything, but at least we can see in front of us only that it is creating the resource, and we are not going to multiple tabs together. Everything is written in one file, and that is
Right.
also we can get reviewed by also with our senior, with our teammates. We can share, we can refer later on also. Once it's done, I think you can now check the instance also. It might be up and running now.
Yeah. So let me do the refresh. No, not yet, because this one we have a multiple user data, so it will
Right.
be just
It will take some
installed.
time, but that is taken from the AWS side. Our code is
Yeah.
completed, successful, even it is generated the URL also. You can see the
Right.
output is ready. It means the script is completed.
Yeah. So script is completed. Now we are waiting, and you can see still we have 3 minutes. So
Yeah.
that's fine. So we'll see if we here the instance is.
Yeah.
All right. So nothing to do that in it. Wow. So we got
Yeah.
that in 2 out of 5 and here we have this code also. So just we have to copy it and paste it in here, and then we can see. Wow. So we can see that in the output, right? So AWS Terraform webinar, and then it's working. To all of you can just write, just hit that in this URL, or by the mobile also you can type it, this IP address 395.152.150.187. Just hit enter, and you'll see that in one website is up and running. And that will be done in that in less than 10 minutes time. Still 5 minutes is there, 2.5 minutes is there, right? And we are able to see that in the website is up and running. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Right?
I think it's amazing only because see, once it is automated, it saves the time for everybody, right? Not only for developer, DevOps, because we have to create this infrastructure multiple times, right? We will be creating in dev environment, we will be creating in the QA environment, and sometimes we face the problem, right? It's working in dev, it's not working in QA. But since it is a code, right? So there's no difference. It should work in all the environments. So manually we may miss some steps, right? If I created VPC, but I might miss subnet 1 or 2. But since it is a code, so there are no chances of missing out something in one environment, right?
Right. So anyone, did you try it and it's working for you?
Yes, it's okay. I have wondered. See, before launching the Terraform, do we have any pre-checklist, something that before launching it? Basic requirements like VPC and
Yeah. So
EC2.
first thing first, you need AWS account and access to create that in a resource. Okay. And then of course you should know that in what is the VPC, how it will be work, what is the CEDA block, what is the security groups, right? And then only you'll be able to do that in all, right? So we have a master class where we used to guide them A to Z in AWS and other cloud also, like in Google Cloud and all. And I'm going to showcase you like in few minutes. So here we have a kind of a Terraform with AWS, Terraform certifications, and many more. Where we are going to talk on that. Not only this one with Terraform with Ansible, Google Cloud, Terraform with Terraform and Google Cloud. We have a Terraform with AWS, Google Cloud, and Azure also, right? And yes, prerequisite is definitely there, because without that nothing it will work. You should know that what is that and how you are going to write that in a code in it, right? So hopefully I answer your question.
No, Kumar, sorry, I think I have not remembered the question. See, my question is, we know all this. See, it's a code. Something might be missed. Suppose we forgot to declare the VPC tab itself. So before going that before that we have any checklist or we have anything to check.
Terraform right on you can do that.
Right, yeah, maybe.
Yeah. So
There is a plan command, right?
No, we
Terraform
have
plan.
yeah. Thanks, Richard. So we have a Terraform validate first. VALIDAT. So Terraform validate it will be do that in nothing but checking that in a violations of our code. Terraform
Basic
format is
requirements whatever is required for that to launch the website or to launch all the resources.
right.
Whether we
So,
have declared or not.
yeah. So this Terraform validate will be help it out in that context. Okay. So
Yeah.
and dry run we used to say that in actual terminology. Did I answer your question?
Yes, Kumar, now it's clear.
Very good. So what we have done, that is we have done it. I'll start that in. I'll quickly do that in end-to-end demo also for our GCP account also. But I'll not go through that in a code walkthrough. And I'll just start that in the server and keep it up and running. And just say that in all of you, if it is clear, just type that in a C in chat box. I'm starting that in a runner in between. Just type that in a clear if it is clear for all of you. I'll keep it this one up and running. It will take some time. And in GCP account also, I'll do that in via that in a, here we have a multiple actions runner, and I can show you. So far, we are running that in all those code by the manually, and with help of a Terraform Ansible and all, it will be done in the one command. I'll not do that in more than that, and our website will be up and running in a few seconds, right? So I'll do that in this demo. After that in a QA. Anyone have any questions so far? Clear. Just type Q if you have a question.
Yeah, what Kumar said is right. Once the demo is completed, we can open the session for Q&A. So if anybody has any question, you can write down your question. You can ask your question. Once the demo is completed, because you've done on the AWS, now he's doing on GCP. And just want to showcase that the Terraform is so easy and so fast that you can, work on the multiple clouds together.
Other things just I want to showcase in between they are doing that. So if you see we have a team and as I mentioned that in is there for one of that in our team members. So let me see the part of the development and see take care of that in all doing that in so sorry. So see take care of that in DevOps and infrastructure part, and thank you very much for that. So see automated that in all these Eduarn applications with help of a Terraform, and now we are selling that in this product for a number of customers with a white labeling, and we have several other team members for website designing and all scaling, and we have around 200 topmost in kind of a trainers. They are working for that in their courses as well. So for any questions, we are not getting the question. I don't know why. So what is that? Who is that? Anyone of there from training background or corporate and retail training?
Kumar, I think people don't have technical questions because they have asked during the demo itself, but I think they might be interested in knowing more, like how can they join the course, or if what you are offering, if they want to learn in detail, I think they will be more interested in that.
Right. So we have some options, so for this batch, we have a 50% offer for that in any Terraform course. We have a multiple. And if I go for that in any one of the course, let's say, if I'll just go and type that in a Terraform, we have already here. So whatever course, generally I prefer that if you are that in a beginner stage, this is the one of the best options we started, right? So for this, we are giving that in a 50% off front offer. Okay. So I'll give that in a coupon code right now. I'll be create it and I'll share with you. Okay. So this coupon code, it will be give you that in a 50% offer, or directly I'll change that in, let's say, amount itself. It was there for the 10,000. I'll be just do that in, for let's say, 50% offer. So I'll be changing it for that course. If other course you are going to join it, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to change it. Okay. So let me give that in offer for that. I'm sorry about that. Right now I'm giving that in offer for that, So here you can see, I'll be give that in offer, and this is the offer code. They will be get it instead of that. I'll move it, and I'll be change that in for 5,000, just 5,001 rupees, right? And update. Now they will be have an offer, and with help of let's say Terraform in 5,000, they will be able to go and sign up right now, So only it is there in the 5,000. What you have to do, you have already created that in a course. The sign up in Eduarn, right? And this course you can search, you can join that in 5,000. I'm sharing that in a link, okay? In chat, and this offer will be there for this batch only 50%, and maximum it will be valid for 48 hours, right? So I'm sharing that in a chat box, and if you are interested, just go and subscribe it right now, right? So this is the link we have, and payment gateway is supporting everywhere. So what I'm going to teach you before that, it is too early say to all of you. In that 5,000, I have opened that in a course content, right? So the course content you are going to learn it. I'll be going here. This is what, if once you subscribe it, you'll be get that in the details, and this is the TOC we are going to learn it, right? So in that 5,000, we are going to cover the course for 40 hours. It will be a start with the modules, 4 hours. These are the topic we are going to cover. Then module 2, Terraform basic infrastructure setup. Then AWS networking setup, A to Z. We'll create the resource. We'll talk on the A to Z resource, EC2 and IAM. Then storage services. Then we have a 6 module is immediate Terraform state management. This is one of the best stuff. And then we have a advanced Terraform module. Then CI/CD pipeline also, followed by the AWS building, and then there is a module 10. There is one small capstone project will be there, and it is not limited for that, right? Other than that, you'll be get that in our this LMS free, and you have the options to refer that in a course and earn it. This is what we are building the trust, right? So once you join that in our system and buy that in a course, you have the options to go and share with others, right? So if I go here, you'll be able to create your one coupon, and you can share that in a course, but maximum discount you can give that in a 50% only, right? So this course you will be sell it, or you will be get that by default 10 to 15% discount. Once you are selling that, I'll be help it out how to create this coupon code and all. Just drop that in email. We need you want to be a partner. We used to say that you are the partner, and you will get that in a referral bonus, right? So you have the opportunity to get that in up to 50%. Let's say you are referring anyone and they join in 10,000, around up to 50% you will be get it. Okay, commissions. We will not say the commissions. We'll say that in a partnership, right? Or we say that in affiliate, right? In other words, so send the curriculum links up. Okay, so you guys, what you have to do, you have to sign up and then register it. Alternatively, I'll be share that in an email that is there. Okay, so it is there in the best Terraform TOC here. Again, I'm sharing, and this document I'll be created in and attach in that tool itself, so you'll be get it. Meanwhile, I don't know, we'll be able to attach it here. File attachment option is there. Right, let me try it. No, so it is not allowing, So yeah. Hi, James. You joined it, but you are almost. We are recording. We have one more demo pending, right? So, you guys, I'll be sharing. Anyhow, it is there in the chat. You're looking for more TOC. I have already shared also. Let me share it and open it. This TOC, you'll be get that in course also. And always it is better to refer it from course, because let's say I'm sharing local. So if I go to that in in my course and then details, here we have options to download the TOC, right? And you'll be able to see that in what we are going to do it. Alternatively, you can also refer it from here. I'll be showcase you 1 second. So you need a TOC. So if you go to that in our training page, all the way down, if you go, and this is the best Terraform course is there, right? So here you'll be getting the TOC is there also, right?
Can you share the link? Yes.
Yeah, I said it.
That will be easy. Yeah.
Yeah, so you guys, you can refer it from here. Anyone else have any other question? And if you want to buy it, just subscribe it. And if you're facing that in a payment related issue, I'll be more than happy. And this is the limited time offer. Just 50% for this course. After this demo, it maybe I'll change that in a price. And 5,000, nothing is going to be happen for 40 hours, not like for one.
What is the course duration and what course duration when it starts and when it ends?
Okay, so there's two options. We have a weekday and weekend options also. So we are in that flexible. Morning sessions also it will be evening. It will be like either the weekend. So sometimes let's say some people will say that we are okay with the 4 hours in weekend, then we'll go with the weekend also.
Yeah. Actually, Kumar, I would like to add. Actually, this training is designed for both kind of people. If some working professionals are there, so they prefer their early morning or late evening time or weekends, right? And if they're freshers and they want to complete during the weekdays, so we have both the options available. That you have to give your preference, what you're looking for, and the total curriculum is of 40 hours. So that up to how you want to go ahead. You want to early morning before starting your office or weekend, so that you have to give your preference. And one thing also I would like to add, at the end of the training, you will get the certificate also. Kumar,
right. Thank you very much. Yeah. So here you can see every learners, they will be, those who are going to participate, they will be get a certificate of completions. Okay, and this certificate will be verified, and by this number you can verify it. It will be offered sponsored by that in Eduarn, and you can share into that in LinkedIn also. If I'll share that in this link, you'll be able to see it from your end also. So generally, this certificate it will be valid, and you can mention that in your profile and LinkedIn, so it will give you the value also. Of course, we are not giving the certificate from AWS, but course completion certificate we are going to give you. All right. Thanks, Rachel, for hearing it.
Yeah.
So, anyone have any other questions? Or if you are trying to subscribe it and if you need help for payment and all, I'll be more than happy to help it out. Just you have to type that in this course or any one of the course if you're thinking on, I'll reduce the price for 50%, whatever is there at the moment, right? And it will be there for 50% discount for this. Of course, this is not a group sessions. Group sessions is designed for corporate training, not for an individual. You have to choose that in an individual, online available one-on-one sessions only. So that only you will get that in a 50% discount. For corporate, if you're looking for, then I'll give you that in for corporate, we have 10% discount only, right? And as of now, we are doing that in this one, and you'll be get that in a certificate. I believe all of you have already signed up because I take it, or whenever you have filled that in a form, then automatically your account got created, and you have received that in email also, right? And you can log in it and get that in this certificate. And this was there for the free, right? And you can even though you can generate it here in what sections, you'll be get that in all those videos, whatever we are talking about. So all this it is there in that in this course. I'll be suggest you to all of you just log in and see it, right? And more than that, we have a quiz, we have a test. So once you'll be signed up in actual course, minimum 10 quiz will be there, subjective test will be there. You'll have a feedback options also, and the test and quiz it will be like something like that. You have to do it, and then quiz board your name will be there. Top leaders we are giving that in a 5% discount also. Let's say if I go for the cybersecurity or any training, so if any quiz it is there. Actually, I designed for this one for so if any quiz is there and you are in leaderboard, you will get that in another 5% discount as well in upcoming next course. Okay. can be intensive based on the Terraform. Yes, you can do it. You can drop that in email. I'll be more than happy to help it out. Okay.
So Kumar, can you please share the email on which email Uja can send a mail, or anybody we are looking for some internship kind
So
of thing?
we have a in contact page. I'll suggest you to always, because let's say we have a in contact page. Sorry, one second. So in our course contact page, if you go for Eduarn, here there is a for business purpose, training and online purpose, different category, but contact is remaining same. So you can refer it from this one.
Sure.
You guys have questions. Can you show the working of the Terraform in Azure, as we are now going to show that in working of Terraform in GCP? Yeah, in this demo, it is not designed for that, but yes, we deliver the training. Let's say I'll be going to that. So almost 65 clients in topmost all we deliver, and you can see here our topmost training vendors. More than like these are the topmost training vendors we work with them, partners, and we have like all courses. For Terraform, we used to deliver that in these are the courses: Terraform for Cisco, Terraform certifications versions 1, 2, Azure, Terraform with AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, Terraform with Google Cloud, and many more. It's not limited for that, for Terraform with SR engineer and DevOps engineer and all. Okay. Okay, so internship related questions I will answer you that in offline. Just drop that in email. If you are interested to subscribe that in a course, just do that. As of now, for I say 5,000 only, right? So it's a very less price. Right? I believe to all of you know that in how to subscribe it, right? Or if anyone have already done it, just drop it like in payment details, or say that in yes you have subscribed it.
Yeah, and I would like to at least ask everybody, if you feel that this 1 hour and 30 minutes of worth you invested, so if you feel this was worth of your time, so at least you can give a thumbs up.
Yeah, I can see Ninu. Okay, so she's like part of the team only. That's fine. Okay, so anyone else? Thanks, Nini. Anyone else you want to subscribe? Just say yes. I'll be help it out for doing this.
Thank you, Abhijit. Thank you so much.
Okay. Where are we getting the recording? Recording, I'll share you that in an email, right? And what next? We have another demo. In between, do all of you think like in price is more? Also, you can drop it. Just drop the message if you think the price is also more. Just say, type that in a more, AMORE. If 5,000 is also more for 40 hours, and more than that, what we are going to help, I'll be help it out for one sessions also, resume preparations and making sure for, I'll not make sure you will get the job, but kind of around 100 or 50 questions preparations. Okay. No, price is good. I didn't see that in a single more also. No problem. So let's like move it, which is okay if interview preparations as a bonus. Yes. Yeah, thanks, Richa. You're typing. Yeah, so interview preparations and all is that in a bonus, which is okay. So let's move it the next demo, because we are going beyond that in our timeline. So what I'll do, I'll be quickly perform that in a Terraform actions. Few people are interested from only feelings. It's very good, no problem. So what I'm going to do here, we have a Terraform run, and with help of it, we'll do that in a run. But what I'll do that in Terraform with Ansible also. So I'll quickly walk through what we are going to do. So here we have a Terraform in Ansible, and we have a main file which is Terraform Ansible playbook file, and then another Terraform file, and it will be going to create 2 servers and run it. So now if I go and perform the deploy to that in a CentOS, and if I do that in a run, the 2 servers it will be created in that in here. As of now, you can see only 3 is there. I'll refresh it. So another 2 servers will be added in here. Once that in this command will be success. Okay. So we can see here now that operations is started. Okay. And you can see this Terraform code has started running automated. I'm doing nothing. I'm just watching, and that you can think about the capability of that. For this, I'm not going to walk through of that in a code, but you can think about that in how quickly and easily 2 servers is getting created. On top of that, in Apache will be installed with help of Ansible. So Terraform as a orchestrations tool, Ansible as a configurations management tool, it is going to use it, and web server, application server, everything it will be configured and it will be run, right? So, but it is happening in that in a Google Cloud, right? Right. So this both server is almost getting created, allowing the security groups. Hopefully, still you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes, we can.
Just please confirm if you are able to see that in a screen. All right, so you can see here still that in a server is getting created, and then because in that server several of installations will be also done. The Apache web server creating the file and all, it will be happening with help of Ansible. So still the server is trying to create it, and it's taking around more than 40 seconds. Right. Yeah, so both server got created, and here we have here, right? There is a 2 IP addresses. It is there, right? So now the Ansible is starting working on after that in a Terraform. It's collecting that in IP addresses and all, right? And here you can see Terraform with Ansible. Now it's going to try to install that in a Ansible. Anyone else, if you have any questions in between, can you ask it, because all of you are silent, right? And those who are yet there in the sessions, it's appreciated. And you can see the capability of the tools. Now we are using the GitHub, Terraform, and Ansible, right? So because infrastructure created, and now internally, server is getting configured, package is getting installed, right? Installing the required package, YAM update and all it is happening, right? So it will take some time, right? And because all we are doing that in a small server, so networking speed will be less only, right? So what is the difference between that in using a small server and bigger server? Is the networking speed will be increased? Anyone can you just answer it? Yes or no? If you know, if you use that in a bigger server, networking speed will be increased. Anyone is there in AWS, Azure, or Abhijit? Yes, very good. So why the networking speed will be increased? Because we are paying that in a more, and we can get that in up to like 1 GB kind of a per second speed. It's all depend on the capacity of the server. Okay. And here we go. So everything is done successfully, and job got completed. What we'll do? Can you type that in this IP address in your PC? Any one of this IP address? Just you have to type the http:// and this IP address, and say you are getting that in some output. Let me do that.
Yeah, I think it's amazing. Just in maybe 5 minutes, we covered both the cloud, GCP and AWS.
And not only GCP AWS, I say Terraform and Ansible also and GitHub. So Terraform, GitHub, Ansible, and GCP. And because I'm running that in this one, so I mentioned the Eduarn, but it is running in the GCP cloud. So almost same screen is there, but this code is running in GCP. You all of you are able to see? Yeah. By this public IP address, you are able to see that in some web. Say yes. Yogesh is saying both he pasted. So you are able to see Yogesh, right? Okay. So anyone have any questions so far? Very good. Thank you very much, Yogesh. All right. So anyone of you like need any offer part so that Terraform working in Azure, sir? Yogesh, is it not possible in this demo? Okay. GCP part I just added it into the bonus, right? Either you have to opt it out one of the cores, right? Or you have to like if you see here we have options. Just like the Azure or like in Terraform. Terraform. Sorry, T-double-R-F-O-R-M. Just search the Terraform with Azure. Let me know. I'll be giving the 50% discount. Here it is there, right? So Terraform with Azure, its price is 15,000 INR. I'll give you that in a 50% off. Just drop it. You join that in a demo, 90 minutes demo, and all you'll be getting in here. I'll be do that in details, okay? And along with this course, you are getting that in a lab as a free also, right? Is it clear, everyone? And now, once this resource is done and you're able to see the output, let's say I don't want to keep it in this applications up and running. I'll be go here and I'll just choose that in actions and I'll perform the destroy. It is not required anymore, and all it is done automated. So this is the way how we teach that. We'll give them how you'll be able to run that in end-to-end infrastructures from creations to destroy. Right? So now if destroy is happening, Terraform will be go and destroy that in the services, automated, and within like in 5 resources going to destroy within a few minutes. Whatever the services we created, it will be destroy. Same thing I'm going to do it for this Terraform also, DESTROY. So all these resources will be destroyed again. So it is always good to say that okay, I know that in how to do the automations and what is the capability of DevOps. Right? Everything or anything we can do that in automated if the tool is supporting, right? Or you are using the right skill on the right time. So in a Google Cloud also destroy is happening, and in AWS also I destroy. So here 11 resources is going to destroy, and you can see in few minutes whatever we have done that in demo, it's got destroy as well. It's amazing, right? Anyone have any questions so far? Or you are trying to like buy that in any course, or you need like any discount? Not only Terraform, you can search it for any other courses, and we have AI related courses also, right? Topmost Ansible, Terraform, cybersecurity, Azure DevOps, monitoring tool is also there, right? But it maybe you will not get that much of discount, okay? But if you are looking for, like in all of you are looking for the Terraform only, and as a part of that, so this course is like well designed for especially for all of you only, right? If you are that in a big nut, sign up if you want to sign up, and right, this is what course I was talking about. Again, I'm sharing that in a final this link. If you really want, then you can join it. All right. Anyone have any questions in that in joining part or like in anything else? Like other than that, as you know, I told you like you'll be get that in as you'll be work as a partner. Whenever you'll be sell that in any course in Eduarn perform, you have the opportunity to sell it and get earn that in 10% to up to 15%. Minimum 10% you'll be get it, right? And up to 15% for any courses whatever you are selling. But you have to register and create your coupon, and then you have to get that in a referral link, and then you have to refer it, right? And this is the one of the best options. Few are learners, whatever they are investing the money for buy that in a course, more than that they are earning in that in the same month. Just referring in that their school or their client office or all, and they are earning that more than that, right? Because if you just give that in one corporate reference, 1 lakh course will be their cost, then 10,000 you'll be earning. It is amazing, right? You just extended the 5,000 and you are earning the 10,000 in that in the next month, right? It's almost twice, right? And if you refer that in someone else, then you'll be getting that in a kind of a depend on that in a minimum 10% to 15%. All right, so who is that? Abhijit, one question. For Terraform to be able to access and create AWS resource, IAM user is required. What privilege will be provided to the user? No, it's depend on, right? You are going to use, and only sometimes you have to create a, let's say you are working as an architect, so you'll be getting that in a VPC access. If you are working as a SRE or DevOps engineer, right? So it's depend on the role to role, and can be used IAM role rather than the, yes, because I'm performing that in a, like in Terraform from that in my local. So if your server is there in AWS, you can use that in IAM role, okay? Urja, Abhijit, Yogesh, Deepa, you have any questions? Shuman? And if you're facing that in any joining related issue, just let me know. I'll be more than happy to help it out for giving you the discount. If not, then that's all. Thank you everyone, and it was right. Really appreciated for your time. And you can reach it always. And this is our official details, or you can go to that in our website www.eduarn.com, right? And then you have to just go and use it. Our contact details if any one of the mobile number or email is not working, right? Thanks, Richa and for like in your time. And it was really. Do we get the recording of that course? Yes, Abhijit. I'll be share it. What is that? If unable to join or miss any sessions. For new course you're talking about, Abhijit? Yes, so yeah, you'll be get that in all recording. For example, let's say here, if I go for my course, and as of now, I just updated that in this image. So similarly, whatever we are going to talk on that, every day you'll be get that in one topic, and then let's say this topic is done, you'll be get the quiz. You have to pass it, and kind of this is your small quiz or test will be added, and you'll be get that in a video. For example, let's say I'll be go to the cybersecurity one. If I'll go for watch, then here we have a video. Okay. So this video is there, and then you'll be get it. Once you'll be watch it, then you can mention that in okay, this is completed. Then we'll consider for that in yes you are. But you have to do that in the system only. Outside, we are not going to share that in any video. Did I answer your question, Abhijit? Yeah. So every document, everything will be get that in our LMS, and LMS is like in a free. For other people, they are like in community, Tagmango and all they are charging, right? Yogesh, I answer your question. He's saying yes. Deepa, you have any question? Because Deepa, Yogesh, Suman, and Avijit only the rest of them they left it. This is okay. It is a free. We are not expecting more than that because we hosted as a free, right? But if you buy it, this offer will be not valid for like it maybe only 48 hours there. After that, I'll be like change the price. Is it okay, everyone? Suman, so how was the session? Do you want to say something? Just a few words. Can you just unmute it and share your camera if you can and say how is the session? How is it, Deepa or Yogesh? You want to say, or just unmute it and say the session was good, bad, improvement is required, or it is very good. Deepa? Abhijit? Yes, the system was good. Very good. Thanks. Oh, it is a human. Abhijit, Deepa, and Yogesh. You can say something also. Unmute it and say it in few words if you want. Thanks for, yeah, very interesting and informative. Thank you very much, sir, for the wonderful sessions. Thanks very much, Yogesh. Abhijit? All right, no problem if you don't want. Yeah, the session was very good. Thank you very much, Abhijit, as well. And let me know if you need any help. Just drop that in email. We are more than happy to help it out. So thank you very much, everyone. Of course, we are beyond that in time, and it's really appreciated. Bye for now. Thanks, Richa and Nino as well.
Thank you, Kumar and Richa. Thank you, Kumar, for the opportunity.